Hey everybody, 12:23 out in Kentwood, Michigan today to get a quick look at a locomotive and caboose that are pretty much unknown and on display out here at the Michigan Military Air, Land, and Sea Museum. I think that's what it was. But it's an 040. It's a narrow gauge, I'm guessing 3-foot locomotive. I believe it was built by Baldwin. I'm not 100% sure. I don't remember. I don't remember who it was made for. But I could definitely look it up. I have found it somewhere. It is displayed this little, very rough, very just raw, plain and simple 040s on display in front of a Norfolk and Western caboose. Both are in dire need of attention. I mean, if you look at this thing, I mean, just to show you too how very basic this thing is. I mean, it's got the hook coupler, which I've never seen. I'm guessing it's old then, if that's the case. The only real ID it has is that it's got a number 7 on the number plate, which isn't even on straight. It's got a hole in the firebox door right here. It's rusted really, really bad. Paint's rusted bad. It's not very big. Probably about maybe 9 feet tall. The boiler's got tons of filler in it, as you can see right in here and there and there. I'd be amazed if this thing could even move at all if you were to have enough power. The cab's rotted out, jacketing's starting to rust and come off, and all the wood's rotted. It's I'm guessing it used to be a saddle tank engine at one point, because there no longer is tanks on it, or it was a fireless engine. But I'm not in the cab here, actually. I'm just standing in between the caboose and the locomotive, because you can't even hook them. It's got a little hook here for a coupler again, so if you want to, you could hook a coupler on it. Windows are gone. The cab is super bad. That gives you a pretty good idea. It's completely stripped of any usable instruments. Wood and floor, I would not even take a chance standing on the floor of this thing. It's gone. Interesting note, the firebox is completely gone. These old crown sheets are still in here. And an interesting note, though, if you look hard enough, the tubes are still in the boiler. So, I mean, that's about the only real plus, is that the fact that the boiler interior sounds like it's complete. The caboose is nothing special. Looks like it's, at least in terms of the stuff that's here, it's in better condition than the locomotive. Like I said, old Norfolk and Western caboose. This looks like an old steel caboose. Looks like it was built in February of '57, from what that's showing. It's got, at least it's got decent paint, I guess you can call it decent. I don't know really what you could call it, but it's just, this is ugly. I mean, flat out, it's ugly. I'm going to show you the Coopersville and Marne Railway's locomotive, and not saying that it's not in any shape at all, but it's better than what these two are. These things probably have not received any care since who knows when. Here's proof right here that this thing is supposed to be a saddle tank. Here's where it's supposed to hold the saddle tanks. Right here. These brackets. More evidence of rot on the cab. Looks like it's been hot wired. That, unless that's old wiring that used to go to the cab. I mean, it's got nothing on it. I'm amazed the boiler jacketing is even solid. That doesn't sound good. I can hear stuff in there that doesn't sound good at all. I can hear it coming apart now that I look at it. All the stuff here built up on the cylinders. You know, I mean, there's not even any grease on those things anymore. No lubricants. Just some old silver. That's about the only recognizable paint, is the fact that the cylinders are painted silver. Interesting note, the boiler's only held shut by 2 of these clips. I can actually wiggle the boiler. Oh wow, actually I could open it right now if I wanted to. I'm not going to. Oh wait, actually yes I can. Oh, there you go. Smokestack inside of this thing, which is rotted out. All the soot and sediment and everything else that's built up in it, rust. Huh. I'm gonna shut that now. Well, first time I've ever opened up a steam locomotive. So, I gotta get this one latch out of here. Okay. Alright, there we go. I'll at least latch it up somewhat here so it looks somewhat like a machine. Yeah, so definitely a little interesting little piece. But yeah, there's the clips on this side for the saddle tank. So this thing was at one point looked a lot different than what it does. But I mean, it's completely stripped of whatever it had. This thing would take so much work to even make it, to even do a full cosmetic restoration on it, that it's not even worth it. I'm guessing this locomotive, as much body work as it needs and as much that's missing, could probably take anywhere from maybe $250,000 to $500,000 to make it look even presentable, and probably about another $250,000 just to make it run, which I don't know where you'd run it. I mean, they have a mini railroad here, but it's too small to run this engine. This engine's pretty decent size, so I mean, at least for this little museum. So I mean, it's definitely a reminder of a bygone era, but at the same time, it's a disaster. Oh, and I figured out too, that hole was one of the old boiler clips. So maybe one day this engine will get proper care, but at this point it doesn't look like it's going to receive anything of that nature. So, but anyways, thought I'd come out here and show you real quick, and maybe one day I can show you some other Michigan steam locomotives that are better than this, because just about every other one is. So I'm going to head back to Granville, and hopefully we'll have more stuff for you soon on YouTube. 1223 out.